Good evening, all. Welcome to the 2017 Mayoral Debate and District 3 City Council Candidates Forum. My name is Molly McLaren, and I am the Vice President of the Calvert Hills Citizens Association. I'm thrilled to be here tonight to hear what our candidates have to say, and I'm so glad that so many of you are here too and not home eating Halloween candy. Really, it is great to see this many people out and engaged in College Park's civic process. So I'll start by introducing you to our moderator for tonight's event. This is Sean Anderson. Mr. Anderson has been a resident of College Park for 15 plus years, so he knows the city both as a journalist and as a resident. He has worked at WTOP for 22 years, and for 19 of those, he has been the afternoon drive time anchor. He has previously moderated several state and local debates, including a 2014 gubernatorial debate between Anthony Brown and Larry Hogan. So you guys are in great hands, I promise. And now the mayoral debate, the mayoral candidates in alphabetical order. First, Mr. Tom Chen. Mr. Chen has been a restaurant owner and real estate investor and developer for several properties in College Park. Born in China, he lived in Hong Kong before moving to the United States. He has lived in College Park for more than 22 years, and he also supports and volunteers with the local soccer team. Next, Ms. Mary Cook. Currently serving her third term on City Council as a representative for District 4, Ms. Cook has worked in higher education for 20 years as an English as a second language instructor and academic advisor. She has an MS in student personnel and counseling and a BS in Arabic. In addition to her work on City Council, where she initiated the strategic plan as a tool for future construction and budget development and implemented the first Go Carless Day, Ms. Cook has also served as Neighborhood Watch Coordinator as well as Chair of the Advisory Planning Commission and the Veterans Memorial Committee. And now, Ms. Zari Malsawma. In 1973, she immigrated from India to College Park and became a naturalized citizen in 1984. She received a bachelor's degree in biology from Goucher College, a master's in linguistics from Georgetown, and training in prayer ministry at Fuller Theological Seminary. Ms. Malsawma has worked at Georgetown University's National Security Studies program and at a consulting firm for traffic, transportation, and civil engineering. She has also been active in Presbyterian and Lutheran churches for 16 plus years. In 2006, she established the Neighborhood Watch program in College Park Woods, and in 2011, chaired the city's Neighborhood Watch Committee during its first year. Finally, Mr. Patrick Wojahn. Our incumbent mayor, Mr. Wojahn, has lived in North College Park for 14 years, and he has served on City Council for 8 years as a representative of District 1 before becoming mayor in 2015. Mr. Wojahn is a graduate of the University of Wisconsin-Madison with a law degree from Georgetown University. He also obtained a local government certificate from the Harvard Kennedy School of Government. He's currently the Director of Government Relations for Rails to Trails Conservancy. He started the College Park Community Foundation to support local charitable causes and established College Park Day. He has served on the boards of Equality Maryland and currently serves on the board of the College Park Food Bank and other organizations, and has worked with other organizations that advocate for people with disabilities. And now I will turn this over to Sean for a few ground rules and disclosures. Thank you.
Thank you, Molly. Thank you very much. I'm honored and grateful for the opportunity to moderate this debate tonight, the most contested mayor's race in College Park history, along with the District 3 Council candidate forum to follow. Thanks to all of our candidates for agreeing to take part tonight. Before we start, I want to give a shout out to a few people. City Clerk Janine Miller, who is in the bowels of City Hall somewhere, making sure it's all on video properly. She makes this place run, and really appreciate her efforts. Also, Kathy Bryant of the Old Town Civic Association is here tonight. Ray Ranker of the College Park Estates Civic Association. They've made contributions to our effort tonight. My wife, Sharon O'Malley of Yarrow Association, gets special praise for organizing logistics and putting up with me for the last few days. And finally, a big thank you to Molly McLaren of Calvert Hills, who has been a mover and shaker, the mover and shaker in all this, making sure we get this off tonight. And she's been a wonderful asset to the city, and I so much appreciate her efforts. Some disclosures and clarifications for you tonight. First, as Molly mentioned, I've been a resident of College Park for more than 19 years. Because of my role as a journalist, I don't endorse candidates. I don't endorse positions on issues. My employer, WTOP Radio, is not a sponsor of this debate. I was given approval by station management to take part in it tonight. One of the conditions for my participation is full disclosure that Patrick Wojah's husband is also an employee of WTOP. He works in a different department than I do. We do not have day-to-day contact. WTOP does not feel this is a conflict. All the candidates were informed of this in advance, and everybody agreed everything was okay with that. I alone determined the questions and the order in which they will be asked. The candidates were not told of the questions in advance. Now, some ground rules for tonight's debate. Before the debate, the candidates drew lots to determine the order of participation, and they are in order right to left, with Mayor Wojahn, Ms. Cook, Mr. Chen, Ms. Malsawma. There will be 1-minute opening statements by each candidate in that order. Following the opening statements, there will be 1 hour of questions. Each candidate will have 1 minute to respond to the question, and we're working on getting the clock in order so that you have a good sense of how long 1 minute is. And being in all news radio, to me, it's a lifetime. I don't know about you guys, but 1 minute is 1 minute. After the first round of responses to the questions, each candidate will get the opportunity for a 30-second rebuttal. We'll call it in the same order. I reserve the right to follow up if needed. I'll be judicious about that. And so the order will be candidate one, Mr. Wojahn will be asked the first question. He'll respond. Ms. Cook, Mr. Chen, Ms. Malsawma, then Ms. Cook gets the second question, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's the order. So it'll be evenly distributed on who gets to answer the first questions tonight. We're working on the timer. I think we're good with that. We are? Okay, good. One more thing. The candidates ask that you withhold any applause until after the debate has concluded. And I think that covers it. Mayor Wojahn, you have the first 1-minute opening statement.
We started a trend of standing up when we speak in these debates so far, so let's stand up. Good evening, my name is Patrick Wojahn. I'm the current mayor of College Park. I want to start by just thanking the 4 civic associations that were involved in putting this together. I love the opportunity to come together and talk about the issues impacting our city, and I appreciate, Sean, your role and your agreeing to moderate this evening. As mayor, I've learned a lot over the past few years. And one thing that has stood out to me is the importance of collaboration, of working together, of bringing people together, especially in a university-oriented community like College Park, where we have a lot of people with a lot of different interests. We all need to get together and work together. One of our big themes as a city over the past year has been One College Park. And we talk a lot about what exactly that means. To me, what that means is that the more we work together and find common solutions that can benefit all of us, the more we can thrive as a city and as a community. I look forward to talking more about that.
All right, thank you, Mayor Wojahn.
It's going to stay on.
Okay. Councilwoman Cook, you have the next opening statement.
Thank you. As Patrick said, we ended up standing up quite a bit during our other, this is the 4th debate we were having. And I was an instructor for many years, teaching English as a second language, as Molly pointed out. I wanted to say that, my husband and I moved here in 2001, right before the big tornado, and it was actually, my neighborhood that got hit the hardest, I think, up in Cherry Hill across from the Home Depot driveway. So that was our welcome to Cherry Hill and to College Park. And it was a great way to meet my neighbors. That's how we got to know each other. And, that's when I learned how fantastic the people are in College Park. We since bought another home, and we decided to stay in that same neighborhood because we like the people there so much, we like the community there so much, and now we have a little larger home that backs up on the park, so we have the best of both worlds because that's what we've got here in College Park. We've got the urban parts of our city, but we also have a lot of nature here. And so I thank you for having me here tonight.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chen, your 1-minute opening statement.
Thank you. My name is Tom Chen. I come in here 34 years ago, and with my family, we come here with nothings. And my uncle bought us tickets to come flew to United States, and we working real hard like a lot of Americans. And we saved money, and we paid back my uncle, and I come to College Park 22 years ago. And I like the city. I like the community, and I like the University of Maryland. And I see the opportunity. I open up the restaurant of my own, and slowly I invest my building on College Avenue. That's the first. And after that, I see we are community and university, and our residents, we need to connect it. I don't see they connected at all, and I think we have big gap right there, and I wanted for the city mayor, I want to fix the gap. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chen. Ms. Malsawma.
It's Malsawma, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem.
My-
Can you? Okay. As Molly introduced me earlier, I'm an immigrant from Northeast India. I've been here since 1973. I became a naturalized citizen in 1984. But what I would say is my identity is that I am a beloved and eternal child of God, and the vision that God has given me as for mayor is to help make College Park a city where no evil can thrive, a city where God's name is hallowed, His kingdom comes, and His will done. A city like none that's ever been. In other words, a city where everything good is affirmed and everything evil is resisted. I have 7 things that I'd like to work on if I were elected mayor, but I think it all would culminate in getting the community together to build a new city hall. Thank you.
Ms. Malsawma, thank you very much. We will begin our questioning period, 1 hour. And the first question goes to Mayor Wojahn. There was vocal division in the community over the summer on the charter proposal in the city council to allow non-citizens to vote. While it passed the council by a majority, it was only discovered a few days later the charter had been amended to require a supermajority vote for approval. The city then announced the charter change would not occur. And a couple of weeks ago, it was determined through a legal review that the original 6-vote provision to amend the charter was out of line with state law. These oversights generated some embarrassing negative publicity for the city government. You get to start for the first minute, Mayor Wojahn. Who's accountable here?
So as a city, we're all accountable, and I accepted my share of responsibility for what happened, acknowledged that it was an oversight on the city government's part, the city council's part, my own part. There's no getting around that. There's no getting around that fact, and I haven't tried to make any excuses for it. I do think that there are a lot of things that we can do to move forward and to make sure that nothing like that ever happens again. And we have started putting procedural safeguards in place to make sure that we do a thorough review every time we have, especially as a decision as important as a charter amendment, that we really make sure that we're following all of our rules to the letter. That we as a council, we have our staff to assist us, but we can't entirely rely on them. We need to do our own due diligence to make sure that we notice these problems as well. So that's what I commit to doing, and I will assure you all that if I'm reelected, that I will assure that nothing like that happens again.
Councilwoman Cook, your 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, that was a rather horrendous thing that happened. It was because it was this is a subject that was tearing our community apart. I mean, there was a horrible thing said on Nextdoor, if you're familiar with Nextdoor. There were things that were being said in the community when we had our hearing here in City Hall. Names were, being flung about. And it was especially tragic that it happened with that particular vote. And as far as who takes responsibility, I think we're all taking responsibility, and I think we've all admitted to that. And, you know, like Mayor Wojahn said, you know, we will, I'm sure, whether I'm elected mayor or not elected mayor, whoever is going to do their due diligence in the future and make sure that these things will not occur again. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chen, your 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. I think council member or the mayor, whoever passed that law before, they need to take it responsible for it. Let me say this strongly. They should all get fired. This is law. No one can go beyond the law. That's for facts. We are living city. Everybody need to respect the law. We have law in here. And those people, they pass the law, they not even know we have a law in here. We don't even know we have one chapter in here. I'm sorry. Those people need to be fired. No excuse. Period. We need to focus in the city. That city need to be, a lot need to be done. Okay? I'm here for 22 years. Nothing done. What is the city do for our citizens, for communities, for university? Nothing. Thank you.
Mr. Chen, thank you. Ms. Malsawma.
I believe the whole issue of allowing non-citizens to vote shouldn't have never come up. And to pass a charter amendment that would allow non-citizens to vote should have been put to a referendum, because it's a very serious issue, and those who represent us should have asked all citizens to, all registered voters to fight, or just everyone to have a say in whether or not, you know, that should have passed or not. And it wasn't done, and it undermined the trust that the citizens have in their elected representatives, and so it's a subject that should never have come up. And I hope to ensure that it never comes up again without a referendum in the future. Thank you.
All right, your opportunities for 30-second rebuttals. Mayor Wojahn, you wish to take the time.
I'll just say that we're moving on from this. I think there's so many other good things happening in the city that I would like to focus on. That conversation, that debate was very divisive, and it came out of actually the conversation that I did want to have about how we can better integrate immigrant communities into our city. And that's a conversation that I think we need to continue to have, continue to explore ways to celebrate our diversity, to embrace the diverse communities that we have here. So I hope to be able to continue to work on that.
Councilwoman Cook, 30 seconds if you wish.
Yeah, thank you very much. I agree that particular topic should never have been brought up in the first place. It was first brought up in 2014 by Mayor Wojahn and his counterpart, Mr. Brennan. It should never have been brought up the second time around. I have to say, though, that it has, made us more aware that perhaps we are not meeting the needs of our immigrant population here, and my husband being one of those. He's a naturalized citizen, and that we can work towards meeting some of those needs. Thank you.
Mr. Chen, 30 seconds if you wish.
Thank you. Whoever want to be non-citizen voter, it's not me. We don't like them. We like them, like me, people like me. I come from immigrants. Then after get a citizenship, we do respect those people. But whoever want to do this, it's no different. You sell your own city. And this is not acceptable. Okay? We don't want to learn from other city. Other city, they do whatever they want. We need to respect our city. We need to respect our charter. Do that for community.
And Ms. Malsawma.
The right to vote should be reserved for citizens and citizens only, and allowing non-citizens to vote is allowing people who have not pledged their allegiance to this nation, to have a say in how the government is run. And that, to me, is foolishness, and a lot of people agree on that point.
I do want to do a quick follow-up, but it's a yes or no question to all of you in order. Would you want it being brought up in the next term, Mayor Wojahn? Yes or no?
I would. All I can answer is yes or no, because I would say...
I'm saying, will you propose it in the next term if you're elected mayor?
I will not propose it. I think, as I said before, that it was a divisive conversation. I think there are other ways that we can get at that goal of better integrating our immigrant communities in College Park.
Councilwoman Cook, would you
No.
want it? Okay. Mr. Chen?
Not in 1,000 years.
Okay. Ms. Malsawma?
No.
Okay, very good. On to the next question, and Councilwoman Cook will have the first crack at this. Development in College Park has exploded in recent years, and there's plenty more on the way. The addition of student housing along Route 1, the opening of the hotel at the University of Maryland, just some of the completed projects. The College Park City-University partnership is set up to encourage growth in the city, but there are some who believe the university holds too much sway over development and maybe not enough oversight by the city. How would you characterize the current relationship between the university and the city, and what changes or improvements would you like to make?
Okay, I would definitely say that the university has too much sway over us at this point. Yes, we are supposed to have a partnership, but if you have ever sat in any of those meetings, you will see there is no partnership there. They are definitely in control of the city. There's no doubt in my mind. I think that we need to, as a city, as a government, to take back our city, and with the new Terrapin Development Corporation, which you may or may not be aware of, this is going to give the university even more power, and we are going to have less power as to what will be going on Route 1 and other parts of the city, and we may be able to make a few tweaks, but that's it. So we need to take control. Thank you.
Mr. Chen, your 1 minute.
We need to move to City Hall to the north. It's very important. We need to develop the north side to better visions for the new image for the city. We can take advantage for the city hall right here, right now, to build mixed use like a landmark. The city can make their own self money. After we make the money, we need to lower tax for all the citizens resident here. They deserve it. We do a lot of road, lot of fixing road, lot of pipe, lot of utility for the University of Maryland. We deserve it to let them work with the City College Park, and also I would like to set it up the education fund. We need to take advantage from the university because we do so much for them. I need to set the education fund for all the residents, for your son, for your grandchildren, for your daughter. We need to work that way to work with university. I need to set up the fund with everyone leave University of Maryland. I will cut your tuition in half. We deserve it to get that. We want to take advantage for the University of Maryland. Thank you,
Mr. Chen. Ms. Malsawma, the question is, does the city have enough influence with the university? Does the university hold too much sway? You have 1 minute here.
Thank you. I do believe that the university has too much sway in this partnership. In fact, from what I have seen, the city is being subsumed by the university. It's, I think Patrick said yesterday or a couple of days ago that it's a symbiotic relationship. I don't see that. I don't agree with being a symbiotic relationship anyway. I'd like to see a partnership, a true partnership where two separate entities work together to move forward. And there's synergy when two partners of equal standing come together to move, to move forward. And that's what I would like to see. Not a symbiosis, not where one partner subsumes the other. Thank you.
Mayor Wojahn, your 1 minute.
Sure. So I think the hallmark of a great college town is a town where the resources of the university are leveraged and utilized to benefit the residents, to benefit the community around it. And that is what we have going on right now with the University of Maryland. And if you want any evidence of that, all you have to do is take a look a couple blocks up at the new hotel that just opened up. After many, many years of not having the high-end, the really nice restaurants that not only can you go to and bring a date to, but that help attract people to live in a community like College Park, in a college town. After not having any of the arts and entertainment like we now have at the Milk Boy Art House for many, many years, we now finally have those things. And the reason why is because we are working strongly and closely together with the University of Maryland. Those things, that hotel would not have come here if it weren't for the university and if it weren't for the partnership that we have. How can we change our relationship? The question was, how can we change our relationship with the University of Maryland? I think we can better utilize those resources that we have. We can continue to look for opportunities like students who are good and smart things and help us do things here in the city.
Thank you very much. Opportunity for 30-second rebuttal. Councilwoman Cook.
Again, I'm going to say we are not in a symbiotic relationship. It is very clear that the university holds sway. Some people say that they are actually a shadow government, and I would have to agree with them. We do not control our own destiny here in College Park, and we need to do that. Thank you.
Mr. Chen, 30 seconds.
I think if you want to city hall staking here, I think we go to wrong direction. We definitely need a new image for the city. It's very important. For example, we need the city to build more green for the public, and it's very important what the way they need. We need less government control for our residents, and it's no matter what. The hotel in downtown developing, they will develop automatically themselves because the prime area here, the developer will come in here no matter what. But no developer go to the
30
north.
seconds.
We need to focus on north.
30
Thank
seconds
you.
are up. Ms. Malsawma.
Back in May, I went to visit a friend at Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut, and it was interesting to see that when you are within the university, everything was nice, everything was just beautiful, but once you leave the confines, the boundaries of the university, it was scary. I don't want that to happen here in College Park.
Mayor Wojahn, you get the last 30-second rebuttal.
Thank you. I don't want that to happen either. In fact, what's happening right now is the city around the university, around campus, is actually getting better. We're going beyond just having fast food restaurants and divey bars and having places that people actually want. And when we do our survey every year, one thing we constantly hear is that people want high-quality restaurants and art and culture, and that is what we are doing here thanks to the partnership with the university. We're also making the city more sustainable because we have people on the university working to help us figure out issues like stormwater management and how to make our city more green. So we're getting a lot from that partnership.
Thank you very much. Next question, the first one will go to Mr. Chen, and it speaks to a little bit of what he had just said. Some residents believe the southern end of College Park gets more economic development attention than other parts of the city. What is your stance on whether all sections of the city are sharing in the economic growth?
Like I mentioned it before, we need to focus for the north. We need to focus District 1, District 2, and District 4. We don't need to District 3 anymore because District 3, they will automatically develop themselves. The developer will come in here no matter what. We need to focus on north. In 22 years, I see nothing be done. So many business, so many commercial still not opens. Be so many years. This is not acceptable for the city government. We need to do something about it to help them to open up the store. We don't want to see them years and years, no business at all. It's very, very important. We want the resident moving in, and we want a business open. That's why we need to implement our city governments. They need to figure out what is wrong in here. It's very important. People don't talk about it, but I would like to talk about it because it's very, very important for the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chen. Ms. Malsawma, your 1 minute.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, some residents believe the southern end of College Park gets more economic development attention than the rest of the city, and the question is, what is your stance on whether all sections of the city are sharing in the economic growth?
I don't believe we are because there's nothing new going on in North College Park or in West College Park. The city has just is in the process of purchasing the College Park Woods Swim Club property, and we hope to develop a community center there. We need a community center where we can have meetings. In North College Park also, there's some development going on. However, it's not enough. If it's going to be an economically beneficial development, it's not happening right now. So we need to focus on those. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mayor Wojahn, 1 minute.
Thank you. So all of our neighborhoods are unique, all of our districts are unique, and they all have their unique needs. A lot of development attention is being focused on District 3 because it is a denser area in terms of its population, in terms of its proximity to the university. There are developers more interested in this area. But the city is putting significant resources, the city government is putting significant resources in the rest of the city. And we're doing it according to what each individual district needs. In North College Park in District 1, we're working on building a new gateway park that will be an entryway to the community. We're working in the Hollywood Commercial District to build new parks and improve the streetscape there in the hopes of attracting new interest and development there. As Ms. Malsawma mentioned, we're investing in the College Park Woods Swim Club property to make that a community gathering space in College Park Woods. Each individual district and neighborhood needs to be looked at specifically, and we need to see what that neighborhood needs and then focus on that.
Thank you. Councilwoman Cook, you have 1 minute.
Thank you. Well, I'll just dovetail on what he was saying. This is the reason that back in 2008, I pushed for a strategic plan, because what I wanted to see was a plan that was citywide, that we could address development, we could address infrastructure, we could address amenities, all these things that we need in the city. Unfortunately, the mayor at that time did not look in favor on that. I'm not sure why. We still need to do that. We have what is called a strategic plan, but it's more like a work plan for those who don't know. I think we need to get back to a real strategic plan. Let's plan for the next 5, 10, and 20 years. And that way we are looking at all the different parts of College Park. And I just want to say that I was played an integral part in the Route 1 sector plan up in the north, because that's the area where I'm from, and that's my district. And I have to say that we planned as neighbors, as a community, very carefully of what we wanted to see up there. And thank you.
Thank you. Opportunity for 30-second rebuttal, Mr. Chen.
I think we need to focus what the city is problem here. And for example, they want a long-term leave for the elementary school for small amount of money for 40 years, only for 17 children daycare. And I see all council member and council mayor have a high resume for themselves. Show the city and show the resident use smart way to do. And we need to more green, more streetscape facing out for the city. Thank you.
Ms. Malsawma, your 30 seconds.
Patrick said that the District 3 is more populated, it has dense population. It's interesting because just today I found out that District 1 has 2,001 single-family homes, whereas District 3 has about 880. So we need attention up in the north. Thank you.
Mayor Wojahn, your 30 seconds.
I just want to correct the record. I didn't say that District 3 has a higher population density than District 1. Because of the redistricting process, they all have the same population. It's kind of wonderful how that works out. But this area is denser. It's denser in terms of commercial development. It's denser in terms of the people who gather here every day. It's denser in terms of business that happens here. That's why every neighborhood is unique and different. I do want to say I do support the strategic plan. I've always supported the strategic plan. I wanted to have a retreat this year to address the strategic plan, and unfortunately my colleagues in the council voted against that.
And final 30 seconds.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that that retreat was not going to be really about the strategic plan. It was going to be about something else, but that's my rebuttal on that. And I would also like to say we would like to see some wise development up in the north. I'm not going to talk about smart growth because I think that term is overused and it's no longer applicable. So we want to see some wise development, something that fits in with our Route 1 sector plan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next question. Ms. Malsawma, you will go first for a minute. College Park is one of 238 communities across the country looking to land Amazon's second national headquarters. The promise of 50,000 jobs if it lands. While it's a long shot, our proximity to Washington gives us College Park a better chance than most cities to land it. The recent headline on the CNN Tech page sums it all up. The city Amazon picks for its second headquarters will change forever. How prepared do you believe College Park is to handle this transformative change if it occurs? And how prepared are you to deal with it should you become mayor?
I think that depends on where they want to build. As we were just talking about, there's too much development downtown, and people are wondering who's going to come and live here, how is this going to affect traffic, that sort of thing. If they build anywhere near Route 1, we would have a really terrible situation, and I would not support that. But if it's somewhere else, that's something we should look at. Look at the impact that such a development would have on the city. I think it's something we need to look at from our point of view, and not just look at what the jobs and the economic benefits that would bring to us. Thank you.
Mayor Wojahn, 1 minute.
Thank you. We are ready as a community to take on a challenge like this, and the reason why is that we have a lot of space right around our metro stations. Our metro stations are essentially underdeveloped, and we have to me, in order to address the increasing density in our area, what we need to do is take advantage of our existing infrastructure and also build on that. We have metro stations that we have very few people coming out to our stations in the morning or going back in from our stations in the evening, so we can take advantage of that. One thing that's important to point out is that if Amazon chooses this site, it would bring hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars of an infrastructure investment to the region. It would help us. They would work to help us to fix our challenges with Metro, to help fix our roads and improve our roads so it could handle the number of the 50,000 jobs that would bring in. So I think it would be a great challenge for us, but it would really do a lot to improve the city. I think that College Park is ideally situated for it for many reasons. So thanks.
Thank you, Councilwoman Cook. Your 1 minute.
Thank you very much. From the maps that I saw that the University of Maryland put out, that the area that would be covered by Amazon would be over closer to the College Park Metro Station. And yes, it is good to use property near Metro, so of course people will hopefully use the Metro bus system. But are we ready for it? No, we're not ready for it at all. And not only our road grid, but we're not ready for it with our electrical, our sewage, our water grids either. So this is something we would have to seriously consider, if Amazon were ready to move into the city. And even if Amazon doesn't move into the city, these are things we have to think about very, very carefully. And that's one of the things that I want to do if I'm elected mayor. Thank you.
Mr. Chen, your 1 minute.
I think it's a good idea to bring Amazon onto city. I think the city needs it, and to bring it city less level, I think it's very important. And we all need the jobs. We need to create more jobs. That's why I also want to focus on the route ones commercial as well. That's also will create job and bring in more resident moving into the city. It's very, very important because we city need a resident moving in. We need this, but no one have idea how to bring it in. We need to work with the students. Students are our root. They will think about it. I will approach them. I know them so well, and I will approach them. Maybe they will think about it to settle down on City College Park. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chen. Ms. Malsawma, you have 30 seconds if you want to use it for any rebuttal.
It's always good to have, sources of jobs, but I think we really need to be realistic about what we can handle right now. So I would say, do the study. Let's do our part to study what the impact is going to be, and then only then decide whether we want them to come or not.
Thank you, Mayor Wojahn. 30 seconds if you wish.
Yeah, so I want to point out too that College Park isn't the only station the only place in the immediate area that is part of the Amazon process. Greenbelt is part of that as well, and I was a leader on the council in looking at Greenbelt as a site for the FBI and advocating for the FBI to come to Greenbelt. Unfortunately, that has fallen out, but it shows that we have space around here that we can use, if not just in College Park, in Greenbelt as well. So we can continue to work in that direction. Even if we don't get Amazon, I think there are opportunities. It shows that we are ready for other similar campuses like Amazon to come.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Cook, your 30 seconds.
Yes, thank you. I agree with what Mayor Wojahn said. However, we're not ready for this. We are not. We need to do some due diligence before we consider bringing Amazon or even the FBI to this area. We have not been proactive about this. We're often not proactive, I must admit. And so we need to look at what we've got, what we have to offer, and what our city can withstand, because I don't want my quality of life to lower. Thank you.
And Mr. Chen, you have 30 seconds.
Like I said many times, we need to focus on the Route 1s. And North need to developing badly. I think we need a new image for the city. Especially we need to rebuild the city hall on the north. We want to, the people coming in, we want to have a new look, new image. This city needs some badly because so many years, the Route 1 cannot be no improvement at all. And we need to focus on Route 1. What we current problem right now, I think we need to take care of it as soon as possible. It's not just open space for a long time. It's not acceptable.
Thank you very much. And we've gone around, haven't we? We're back to Mayor Wojahn for the first crack at the next question. New developments brought more traffic into the city and near the Beltway interchange. Pedestrian safety is also an issue after a student was killed near the university recently. The construction of the Purple Line light rail is going to cut right across Route 1 south of the hotel. It's going to hug part of Campus Drive before veering off to the metro station. What is your message to residents who are frustrated by local traffic congestion?
So I've heard people suggest that we should not develop anymore in College Park because that's going to take care of our traffic problems because more development brings more traffic. There's a lot of problems with that comment, and the simple fact is if you don't develop, they're predicting 1.5 million more people coming into the DC metropolitan area within the next 20 years. If we don't bring them inside of the Beltway, where are they going to go? They're going to go outside of the Beltway. They're going to go to Howard County. They're still going to be working in DC because that's where all the jobs are, but they're going to be traveling through College Park to get there. That's what's called sprawl. And unless we think about our development, think about where we put things so that we allow people to live close to where they work, like we have been doing here in College Park. We're going to end up with even more of a mess than we currently have. Over the past 12 years, we've seen about 7,000 or 8,000 new student housing beds come into College Park, and as a result of that, we have more students now that are living close to campus that can walk to class, that can bike to class. So that's what the approach that we should take.
Thank you so much. Councilwoman Cook, your 1 minute.
Thank you. Well, it's true. You can see it every day. I mean, I think I've seen traffic increase in the last few months that I've been complaining about that to my friends, and I was like, what's going on? Suddenly there's more traffic on Route 1 and Cherry Hill Road than I remember. And you know, it's not an easy fix, obviously, and if we bring more development, then we've got to think about what we're going to do with those people and the cars that are coming with it. Because it's very nice to say, oh yeah, we'll have a walkable node, we'll have walkability. People are not walking. I live across the street from a shopping center. How many people walk over there? Me and maybe my neighbor. That's it. They won't go, they will not walk, and I've said that time and time again when we were doing the Route 1 sector plan. If we decide to go this route and we want to have more development in College Park, which I'm sure we will, then we need to do a campaign on alternative transportation. People need to start changing their mindset, and that includes all of us, not just the students. We're going to have to start walking more. We're going to have to start biking more. So, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chen, your 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. It's very important for the community. In 22 years, I know the city College Park. I going up and down every single day, and it's traffic bad, and especially in the rush hour. We need to build the bus lane because I drive it up and down. I see it. We need a bus lane because bus make the traffic back up. When we build a bus lane, when you drop off or pick up, they can go to the side, and the traffic can continue moving to the Beltway and moving back to the city. It's not the problem. That's not the issue here. We will take care of that quickly. And also, we need a traffic light, the arrow light. When you have rush hour, we can point down for 3 lanes towards the Beltway. When you're coming home at night, rush hour, point back to the city, coming back to the city quickly for safety. We also, it's not acceptable city just keep talking and no action for the student get killed on Route 1. It's very, very important. I'm just sick and tired of seeing young people get killed. We need to build pedestrian bridge for the key point. We need this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Malsawma, yours. 1 minute.
Thank you. I believe this is where we really need to develop a a vision for the city, what we want to become. Do we want to be a city that has dense population with a lot of mass transit coming in, or do we want to continue having single-family homes out with highways out in the open? The mass transit systems cost billions of dollars, whereas the highway systems cost millions. So we need to think about what kind of city we want to grow into, and if we also have to be realistic about what we can be and cannot be in terms of densely populated areas and single-family areas. So I don't know if any of you watched that movie, Blade Runner. The Blade Runner city, the city that's portrayed in there, it's a possibility, but I hope we can avoid that. And I believe there are flying cars in the future, and that might help too. So let's be forward thinking.
Thank you, Mayor Wojahn. 30 seconds if you wish.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to put something out there for the record, just because there is this notion that this idea that traffic is increasing in College Park, and don't get me wrong, traffic is a big problem. No one's going to deny that. But if you look at the numbers that the State Highway Administration puts out every year about the amount of traffic that we have, there are parts of the city, especially around campus, around the mid-campus area, where traffic has actually gone down significantly over the past 10 years. I'm not going to say it's not a mess, like I said, but it is going down in some areas. The reason why is that we're developing smartly. We're thinking about where to put people, where to allow people to live if they're close to campus.
Councilwoman Cook, your 30 seconds.
Yes, I was a member of the Transit Alternatives Committee, and this must have been more than 10 years ago, and this was a true partnership with the University of Maryland, I must say. We'd meet in this room every 2 weeks to talk about how we could use different forms of transportation. And the reason I'm bringing that up, obviously, is because there are too many cars on Route 1, and there are going to be even more cars. I wanted to say something else about that. What was it? Well, I guess I'll just... No. There is a book that was presented to us. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Thanks. Mr. Chen, 30 seconds.
I talked to a lot of students, and I asked them why you're not driving no more and why your parents drop off. I find a couple good stuff from the students. One of them, the reason why the traffic is slowing down, because the city ticket and university ticket is cost too much. $75 per each ticket is so ridiculous. And also the city ticket, and the city also get a small violation. We also get ticket, so they cannot afford it. So just leave a car at home. Just take a walk and bite.
Thank you, Mr. Chen.
Thank you.
Ms. Malsawma, you got 30 seconds.
I'm thinking, can we have something like the Jetsonian, the Jetsons? I don't know how many of you remember that cartoon, but I think we need to think futuristically. What's possible, what's not possible, because we've got a lot of drones and a lot of robotic stuff coming up, and the university can help us with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next question, and Councilwoman Cook will have the first 1 minute. There have been several high-profile crimes in College Park over the past couple of years. Further growth could also mean a growing crime rate. Assess the effectiveness of the current public safety arrangement with Prince George's County Police, and whether you believe it's time for the city to create its own independent police force.
That's a good question. I have to say we've had some crimes in my neighborhood, and in fact we've had 4 different drug dealers in my neighborhood that we've chased every one of them out, and we're in the process of chasing another one out. Should we change our current arrangement? I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing the November study. It's a police study that maybe some of you participated in. It's coming out in November. I'm looking forward to seeing what that has to say before making any judgments. Right now, I think I'm changing my mind from 10 years ago when we did a study, and it's possible that, it may be worth our, dollars to have a police force or a police department. Thank you.
Mr. Chen, 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. I like the question, and it's very important. And we need more police, more country police, absolutely. And I live in District 3, and we don't need co-enforcement 24/7. We just need them 5 days a week. We need to cut spending for the co-enforcement. Maybe some other council member, they take advantage for that. And for District 3, we only stay on District 3. On Cover Hill, we don't have no code enforcement service. And District 1, District 2, and District 4, we don't have no code, but they pay for. So we need to cut spending on code. We need to hire more police enforce on every district. It's very important. It's not acceptable. We keep seeing gunfire, killing somebody, and get riot all the time in District 3 and never get improvement. People just keep talking years and years and years. Nothing get done. Nothing. We put all the students in danger. Thank you.
Ms. Malsawma, your 1 minute.
Thank you. Neighborhood Watch is really helpful. I know that from experience. When we started our Neighborhood Watch program back in 2006, the thing that drove the establishment of that program in College Park Woods was there was a rash of airbag thefts. It kept happening from Honda Accords. And so after we got our Neighborhood Watch program established, all that disappeared, and we don't have a rash of any kind of crimes right now, except for petty thefts from people breaking into cars parked in front of their houses and having some coins stolen, or a laptop that was left in there that's not supposed to have been left there anyway. So Neighborhood Watch is very, very effective from my experience, and we need to cultivate more of that throughout the city. But we also need to before we go on to get our own city police force, I think we need to revamp the contract police force in such a way that we'll have patrols going through our neighborhoods regularly.
Thank you. Mayor Wojahn, you get 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you. So first, if you look at the statistics and crime in this area over the years, and Ms. Malsawma mentioned this, crime has actually gone down. For the most part, now we're dealing with property crimes in the community. There are occasional violent incidents that are very unfortunate. I think about the murder report of Lieutenant Counts earlier this year, which we do need to work on addressing. But as a whole, crime is going down. I think in terms of a city police force, I am looking forward to seeing the results of the study that Ms. Cook mentioned. But I've long believed that we get a lot for the money that we spend on the contract police force. That one of the reasons why we have the third lowest tax rate of any city in Prince George's County is because of the contract police program. And I think there are ways that we can tweak it and improve it. I think the study will address that, but I also think that we can do more to make sure that we have community-oriented policing. We have our community liaison officers. They're very popular. Many of you know Officer Nunez, Officer Loban. We can work and make that stronger within our contract program.
Thank you very much. Ms. Cook, you have 30 seconds.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, we don't have equitable distribution of the police force. You will never see them in my neighborhood unless I call or send an email to Bob Ryan, who's the Director of Public Services. You will not see them in my neighborhood. Tonight I saw one. So that was a good thing. But that's because we have a house, which I told you was probably a drug house. And I thank goodness that some of our police officers are really watching out for us. And sometimes I send personal emails to these police officers, so they will come by my neighborhood. But that's what I got to do.
Thank you so much. Mr. Chen, 30 seconds if you wish.
We definitely need more contract police in our city, through the district, not just focus in downtown. Our city right now, our government just focus in downtown. We need to focus in other city as well, but they never pay attention with this. Other district, they need a safe for resident as well. Very important, but they never focus in other district. They only focus in downtown. It's not fair for other resident. I think the city government need to be thinking about it, what they're doing, and that job is not working.
Thank you. Ms. Malsawma, you have 30 seconds.
I would like to see one contract police officer assigned to each district. They can rotate. Maybe for 1 month, one of them can be for one district. And so all 4 districts covered. I'd like to try that before we go looking for our own city force.
Mayor Wojahn, you get the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think that it's not a good idea to make sure that the police are equitably distributed around the city, because police should be focused where the crime is, and should go where they're needed. If there's crime in a particular area, and to me that's what community-oriented policing is all about. If police understand better where the hot spots are, where the problems are, where they need to be, then they're more likely to go to those places and address the crime before it happens.
Thank you so much. Next question, we'll start with Mr. Chen. Just about every college town in America deals with tension between landlords who provide housing for students, the students who live in that housing, single-family homeowners who don't want to see rentals in their own neighborhoods, and local governments who have to oversee it all. How effective do you believe the city government is in regulating rental housing?
I have that question 2 days ago. I think the city take advantage and discriminated for the students. This is very important. The city need to stop behave themselves. They cannot be treat the students and torture the students, discriminate the students. They just using that word to punish the students, to force our landlord to give the job to the landlord to do the dirty job to punish the students, which the city don't want to do it. They tell us to do it. So we want to work with anyone, students, residents, communities. It's not just punish students, treat like a student like an ATM machine. We are parents. We pay a lot of money for our kid to go to University of Maryland. Not just see a student, petty law, grass didn't cut, trash can did not bring it in. Take it after take it, you name it. It's absolutely torture the student and discriminated for the students. They need to stop behave themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chen. Ms. Malsawma, you have 1 minute.
I think we need to, this is where the city-university partnership can really work well. When residents work together with the when the city works together with the university to have policies for, a really good exchange between city residents and also students. Because one of my neighbors had a rental home next to his, and when he went and told the students who were having a really loud party one night to please keep it down, one of the students said to him, "Oh, why don't you just go get a real house?" So we have that attitude problem, and we need to resolve it. Perhaps the university can require that freshmen, other students who are not quite mature can stay in the dormitories, and then allow those who are more responsible and who are less party-hardy students come and live among us. We would love to have them. Thanks.
Mayor Wojahn, you have 1 minute.
Yeah. So I know that this has been a particularly challenging school year for some neighborhoods around the city. I've heard the stories. I've heard some of you talk about how many parties have happened. And I was there a few weeks ago at the old parish house when we had a meeting with you all as residents to talk about those challenges and how we could address them. I worked with our city manager, Scott Summers, to figure out how we can increase the resources addressing these problems within neighborhoods like Calvert Hills and Old Town to really respond to those and crack down. Over the years, I've been working in partnership with the students to address some of these things by doing things like expanding the Code of Student Conduct off campus, which makes sure that students can get an academic black mark if they misbehave not just on campus but off campus as well. Mr. Chen calls these victimless crimes, but you all are the victims of these crimes. You are the ones who are kept up all night while your neighbors are partying and have to go to work bleary-eyed, or your children are kept up because they just want to have a good time. We can find ways to address these problems and make sure that we all can live together.
Thank you. Councilwoman Cook, you have a minute.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm going to take this in a little bit different direction because not all rental homes are rented to students. We have a house in our neighborhood that is rented to I think a young couple with a child. They had a 48-hour party over the 4th of July. And I'm not kidding you, it was a 48-hour party. So that meant several calls to code enforcement, to the police, to the landlord, to the police, to code enforcement, to the landlord, to the landlord, to the landlord, until this thing ended. So it's not just to students. Some students do a great job, and they're very responsible, and some others don't do such a great job. And our problem is our hands are kind of tied because we know that if it's a rental property and there's supposed to be 5 students in it. Okay, we know that rule. Okay, Mr. Chen might disagree with me there, but okay, but anyway. It's harder when it's, a single-family home that's renting out, these owners are, okay, never mind.
Mr. Chen, you get 30 seconds.
Okay.
I think we need to work together. And I deal with students for 20-some years. And we need to guideline them, like, if they are not immature because it's kids. Kids do the kid thing. And when they have a party noise, for example, we need code enforcement go there to guideline them, turn the music down, for example. We don't need to punish them every single time and harder. That's the problem, making city and students so divide and residents so divide. We need to work together to get the solution to helping each other out.
Thank
it's
you.
not to punish.
Thank you.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Malsawma, you have 30.
I think we can work at partnering with the students who are living in our communities. You know, for example, we have graduate students in our community. They take care of the lawn for their landlord, and the landlord, reduces their rent. And that's a really good partnership, and it also allows the students to take pride in where they live and to have to invest themselves in it. And I think we need to do more of that. Thank you.
Mayor Wojahn, you get 30 seconds.
Sure, I agree full-heartedly with the notion of partnering and working together to solve these solutions together. But we need all tools that we can bring to bear to address these problems, because they have been challenging for our neighborhoods for many years. So we need to focus on enforcement, but we also need to focus on win-win situations like the IFC tailgates that we've been doing on campus that have brought a lot of the partying out of the neighborhoods that my colleague Ms. Cook opposed when it came up before the council in 2016. We need to work on these win-win situations.
Ms. Cook, you have your 30 seconds.
Okay, yes, I did oppose that, because do we spend $10,000 of the taxpayers' money on a tailgate? Well, that didn't seem like it went very well with some of the residents up in my neighborhood or over in College Park Woods. So yes, I did vote no on that. I do want to applaud the PGPOA, the Landlords Association. One of our, she's the president or the former president of it. I'm not sure what you are now, Lisa, but we worked very closely with them in order to correct some of the situations here.
Thank you very much. Next question, Ms. Malsawma, you will have it first. A $1.3 million improvement for a concession stand and plaza at Duval Field. It'll cost $1.5 million to complete the Hollywood Gateway Park in Edgewood. Hundreds of thousands have been spent to upgrade hiking and biking trails. The city is in the process of buying College Park Woods Swim Club. How wisely is the city spending its money on recreation and green space? What more would you like to see be done as mayor?
I'd like to see more of that, because green space, making space for people to just enjoy the city is very important. And it's important for exercise, health, and also just for the health of the city itself, in general. So I think that's money well spent, and I would like to see more of that continue. Thank you.
Mayor Wojahn, 1 minute.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. It's an important thing, and we need to have more green space. It's an issue near and dear to me, working for Rails to Trails Conservancy, which focuses on building this infrastructure all over the country, trails that people can get out and use and enjoy. And I think it's critical that we have it here in College Park so that people can get out and enjoy the green space. In terms of how wisely we're using our funds, we put a lot of city dollars to use in this, but we also bring in a lot of grant funds from the county, from the state. We leverage our funds to put that to use. It's also good for our economy when we have more green space and more recreational opportunities in the city, because it makes our city more attractive, a more attractive place for people to come live. It's more attractive for businesses that want to locate here and have their employees bike to work. So it's helping us right now to increase our tax base by building this infrastructure that will make our city thrive.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Cook, you get a minute.
I want to say that up in my area, we probably had the largest contiguous green space in College Park. When Mr. Chen talks about, having more and more development up in the north, what I'm thinking is, I want to see, as I said before, wise development. I want to make sure that some of this land is protected. It's, whatever we put there, we are very thoughtful about it, because we haven't been so thoughtful about, other spaces in our city. The other thing is that fiduciary responsibility. I'm not sure that we're doing as well as we could possibly do. I think we need to work more closely with our planning department so we're more aware of the plans and the costs of those plans that are coming through the pipeline, because there has been some confusion about that in regard to the Gateway Park and the Hollywood streetscape. So I am very proud of the citizens in North College Park because, you know, they decided they wanted to scale back the Hollywood streetscape because of the cost. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chen, you get a minute.
Well, I say we built on north side is very important, and we everything go by the standard of the green space. It's very important for green space for streetscape, and I also want the city government going to cancel out the elementary school for leasing for the University Manor for long term. We need to get the back to build the field for everyone. It's very important. We residents need it for the green space, for family need it, the kids most need the most. And we don't have one here to field. So I think that's the city government make it the worst decision I ever heard. That's going to be daycare center for 17 kids. And we are in the city business. We don't have to be leasing long-term lease to the University Manor. It's not acceptable. We need a green space. We need a streetscape. We need a field. Thank you.
Ms. Malsawma, you have 30 seconds.
Let's go green in everything. Let's have community gardens, and let's go solar. Thank you.
Mayor Wojahn.
Thank you. I want to address something Mr. Chen said because, as I think a lot of you know, a lot of you were involved in the discussions about the Calvert Road facility. Those playing fields are being maintained for the same use that they're being used for now, for use by the Boys and Girls Club and for use by the neighborhood. So I do think that there is more that we can do to enhance the recreational opportunities. I think we should be looking at trail connectivity, how we can make our trails work together so that people can get from where they live, places where they live, to places where they work. We should also be looking neighborhood by neighborhood at recreational opportunities.
Councilwoman Cook, 30 seconds.
I'll pass, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Chen, 30 seconds.
Again, everyone resident here, we need a green space. We need to focus, get the building back, turn to the field. We need a field for the children. We have parked there for a long time. It's kind of small. We don't have a field in the downtown area. And we don't have enough field in our district area. We need to focus more field for the resident need, so that way we have a more resident moving into the College Park. But we don't have that. We're missing the resident moving in. We need to focus resident moving in.
Thank you very much. Sharon, I'll ask you, how much time do we have left for a question?
About 7 minutes.
All right. Well, that means time for one more.
Wrap up, so
Oh, so that includes time for final statements? So before we go to final statements, then I'm going to ask you a 1-minute question, no rebuttal. You won't need a rebuttal. It'll be Mayor Wojahn's turn to go first. And what one characteristic do you believe best explains why you should be the mayor of College Park?
So, experience and accomplishment, having actually gotten things done. Having experience and accomplishment, having actually gotten things done over my 10 years involved with the College Park city government. In that time, Mr. Anderson mentioned, I got the College Park Community Foundation started, which has given thousands of dollars to local nonprofits. I worked together with residents to get College Park Day started, to get a farmers market going in North College Park, to put aside many of the years of animosity between our landlords and our students and our long-term residents, to come up with win-win situations on some of the thorniest issues that have plagued our community around student partying and quality of life issues in our neighborhoods. So I brought that to the table. I believe firmly in collaboration. I want to continue to work on that collaboration, and that collaboration has gotten a significant benefit for the city over the years. And I am very proud of the things that I've accomplished in that regard.
Mayor Wojahn, thanks. Councilwoman Cook, the one personal characteristic you believe best qualifies you to be the mayor of this city?
I'm going to listen to you. Plain and simple. I'm going to listen to you because I know you've got great ideas that we can implement here in the city. And I know you're a very wise group of people out there. And that's it. Thanks.
Mr. Chen, 1 minute, the personal characteristic that you believe qualifies you to be the mayor of the city.
I live in City College for 22 years. I have learned a lot for community, residents, and students. And it's big gap in there, and we definitely need the time. It's time right now to be connected, to work with each other. I think we'll come with a solution for everyone's. And for a lot of things, and the city governments, for example, a lot of council members already work for a long time, and current mayor right now work for the council till mayor is 10 years. And what they do for you guys, what did they do for you? And the way the community need, is this what you're looking for? I think the city can do much better for the community. We need a tax cut. We need a tax cut badly. We deserve to get a tax cut. We need a tax cut because this is important.
Thank you.
The city never done it for the resident. Thank you.
Mr. Chen. Ms. Malsawma, 1 minute personal characteristic that makes you best qualified to be mayor.
I'm a catalyst for new things. I love challenges. I love being given the opportunity to come to a situation that has been stagnated for a long time and bring new energy, new vision, and practical ideas. So that's what I would bring to this. And my personal concern is City Hall, because Winston Churchill was quoted to have said, "We design our buildings and we make our buildings, we shape our buildings and our buildings shape us." I would like us to build a city hall that is representative of the vision for College Park that I have, and I'd like to see that done while I'm mayor, if you elect me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Malsawma. That concludes the question portion of our debate. The candidates will now get 1 minute for a closing statement, and I hope you did, use your bullets here. I don't think you did. I think you have plenty to say. The candidates will go in reverse order of the earlier draw, so that means, Ms. Malsawma, you will get the first chance for the closing statement. 1 minute.
So my vision is to establish College Park into a city where no evil can thrive, a city where God's name is hallowed, His kingdom comes, His will done, a city like none that's ever been. And as a symbol of that, I would like to see to it that we have a city hall that symbolizes all those things, a model for other cities, a city hall that really represents our values and our vision as a city. And I know it would take a lot of convincing for people to embrace one vision that we can all be united under, but that's where I would like to see, lots of town halls and lots of interaction between the elected representatives and city residents, so that we can talk about what we want the city to be, what we want to be as a city, and then build the city hall. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chen, your closing statement, 1 minute.
We definitely need to get the tax cut, get back to the residents. It's very important. And we need to go government friendly. We don't want to co-enforcement come to you, knocking your door, do this, do this. I want you to be home. The city college park, you stay home, you are home. I don't want nobody coming to bothering you, to tell you to do anything. It's not acceptable. We need a friendly government. And I will set up the education fund for your children. We need it. We do a lot of things for university matter, fixing out the road, get them green spots, a lot of things. We need to take a revenge from them. We need to set up the education fund for all our children. We need to cut. We pay too much money for the education. We need to cut them in half. If you live here, son and daughter or grandchildren, I will cut your tuition in half. We need this. We need to take a revenge from the university. They are in our backyard. We're going to use it. It's one of the greatest universities in the nation. We're going to use it. Thank you.
Mr. Chen, thank you very much. Councilwoman Cook, 1 minute closing statement.
Yes, thank you. Okay, remember that book I couldn't remember the name of? Well, I did. I remembered it. It's called Better, Not Bigger. And this is a book that Delegate Jocelyn Pena-Melnick brought to our group, the Transit Alternatives Committee back then. And it's something that I really, it's a book that I really would like us to live by. Let's make our city better. before we ever try to make it bigger, because we're not doing a really good job now. Yes, I think this area down here is looking quite spectacular these days, but the rest of this city has a long way to go. And let's concentrate on making our city better, and that's in terms of safety. We talked a little bit about that earlier. Education, we need to work with our superintendent of education and in increasing or improving the schools that we have in our city, but throughout Prince George's County. We also can look at some other areas, and I want to thank you all for coming here tonight.
Thank you very much, Mayor Wojahn. 1 minute.
Thank you. When I moved here with my husband, who's here in the audience, when we moved to College Park in 2003, we both saw a city with a lot of potential. We moved here because you have this idea of a college town being a vibrant place, a place with a lot of culture. I think College Park has the potential to reach that level of being a great college town. And I think we're getting there. We're getting closer. We are starting. We're getting the high quality restaurants. We're getting the arts and entertainment venues. We're getting the new innovation and the businesses that are locating here. But we're doing that because we're doing it together. And one reason, you all probably know, I send out these weekly emails, weekly updates of things that we're talking about in our council, things that are going on in the city, important issues that are coming up. I do that because I want to hear from you, because it's important that we work together on building that vision of a new College Park. I want to invite you all to reach out to me. My cell number and my email address are on my card, and you can get it through my brochure in the back. But I want to hear from you all. I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank Sean for moderating this evening.
Thank you very much. That concludes our debate. A hand for the candidates. I want to thank all four of you for agreeing to be here tonight. We've got a full house here tonight as well, so well attended. Thank you for coming. Coming up at 9 o'clock is the District 3 Council Forum. We have 4 candidates running for the 2 seats in District 3. 9 o'clock we will start that forum, and I hope you'll stay for it. Thank you very much.